G'day there guys, I learn from the mistakes of people who take my terrible advice. It's your main man Markee here, and wouldn't you know it, it's another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and have a bloody good time. Thank you. Posted by user ThrowA10. Titled, Would I be the a-hole for not allowing my sister to stay with me? My sister is 18, and I'm 22 male. This goes back to when I was 18. My parents told me on my 17th birthday that at 18, they were kicking me out. I thought they were joking and didn't take it seriously. I had nothing lined up when I was 18. I had no jobs, I had no plans for school. Sure enough, when I was 18, my stuff was packed and I was kicked. I was moving from friend to friend, and at one point, I slept on the street. When I was 21, I finally got my life together, and now I live in a kind of crappy apartment, but at least I have a home. My sister was 14 when I left and thought that this was the funniest thing to ever happen. She thought it was so funny watching me try to figure out what to do. She thought it was so funny hearing about me living on the street. It was all one big joke to her. When she was 17, I contacted her and told her to get a job or do something so you wouldn't have to end up like me. She didn't take it seriously. Now she's 18 and is in the process of packing her stuff, and she asked if she could stay with me, and I'm considering telling her no for not taking my advice and thinking all of this is funny. Would I be the a-hole for telling her no? Technically wouldn't be an a-hole because it's somewhat deserved, I guess, after she laughed at you for so long, and she should have seen the writing on the wall for 4 years straight. Although you'll probably get a lot of flack from people regardless for not taking in your sister after she got kicked to the curb by your parents when you technically have the ability to look after her. Your parents sound like goddamn assholes for doing that to you though. Sure, they housed you for all that time and you're adults at 18. But are you really? I didn't feel like an adult when I turned 18. I wouldn't be able to support myself even when I worked at McDonald's part-time. I feel like your parents knew your personal situations and just threw you to the wolves anyways, and that is so goddamn heartless of them. Sure, you wouldn't be the a-hole to say no to her in this situation, but I don't think you should do that just because you can. Personally, I would have a little bit of empathy for her. Now in the comments, Woodland of Weir says, Not the a-hole. You did try to warn her, and she didn't take your advice. I do feel sorry for both you and your sister, however. What a crap thing from your parents to do to the both of you. Keep in mind that your sister was 14 when she laughed at you, and she was also heavily influenced by your abusive parents back then. You are not morally required to do so, but maybe you can find it in your heart to forgive her and be there for her in some small way while still looking out for yourself and your mental health. Right? Ugh, these effing parents, man. Like if you want to kick your kids out at 18, I have zero beef with that. They're adults, but FFS. It needs to be perfectly clear to the kids that it's happening, and you need to actually prepare them to go beyond their own. I have beef with that. How do they kick out their kid the second they become an adult? If you hate your kids so much, why did you even have them? 100%. An 18-year-old might legally be an adult, but they are not emotionally or mentally. If I'd have been kicked out on the streets at 18, I'd have died. This isn't the 40s, where 18-year-olds are likely to have stable, well-paying jobs and can afford rent and bills. 18-year-olds are lucky if they have a job at all. Anyone who'd do this to their kids without knowing they have the means to support themselves probably shouldn't have had kids in the first place. And OP replies, I feel like the only reason I would let her stay with me is so she doesn't die. For me, the problem wasn't that I was scared of anybody on the streets or afraid of being kidnapped. It was about figuring out what am I going to eat and drink, then how do I get a job without a house and clean clothes. Luckily, I figured something out, but I don't think she's going to be as lucky. Yeah, but you're male. Hell, I'm scared of dudes on the street and I have somewhere to live. She'd certainly be at higher risk of being targeted for certain crimes as a homeless girl. I've experienced some of those crimes and wouldn't wish them on anyone, even if she did laugh at you as a crappy teenager. Not to say that you should let her move in with you, but you could at least help her arrange something else. And OP replies, "Yes, I'm a male. I shouldn't have said it like that because I'm not a badass. When I first became homeless, I was afraid, but I had to get over it. You could tell I was 18 because I still looked like a kid, so I thought people would target me. After about the first week, I would say I wasn't afraid anymore. Did people target me? Yes. Did I worry about being targeted? No. I was still worrying about what I'm gonna do about being homeless. After a certain point, I just stopped caring about certain possibilities." Not the a-hole. The real a-holes here are your parents for kicking out their children once they hit the apparently magic age of 18. When I was 18, I had no understanding of the real world and no idea of how to go about getting a job or securing an apartment. I can't imagine what I would have done if I had been in your place. And Airplane Adapter says, "Not the a-hole. However, I would urge you to take the high road and let her stay, but only if she agrees to pay rent. If not, I wouldn't let her stay. The only reason I say this is that she's family who's been forced into the same position by your parents as you were all those years ago. Yes, she was a bit of a dick laughing at you for all those years and ignoring your advice, but she deserves a chance to redeem herself via helping to pay for stuff. Just my opinion, as I'm a random internet stranger who doesn't know much about your position. This. That way she's not mooching off you, gets a job, and figures out how to adult. It would help you pay bills while giving your sister a chance. If it doesn't work out, then at least you know you did what you could." And now on to the update. Okay, so here's the update because some people have been asking. My sister finished packing her stuff like a day after my post. She asked if she could stay with me because she doesn't have a place to go. After reading what you guys said, I told her no. From what I've read, the majority said that I wouldn't be an a-hole if I didn't let her stay. She started apologizing and begging for me to let her stay. I repeated no, and that should have been the end. I tried to forget about it, but I just keep thinking about it throughout the day. At about 7 p.m., I tried to just go to sleep and forget about it. I couldn't. What you guys said about her being assaulted, and with her crying, I couldn't let her stay on the street. So, to make a long story short, I found her. It was depressing watching her just walk down the street, knowing she wasn't going anywhere. I told her she could stay with me for a while. I feel like I made the right decision, and hopefully things will get better, so that's pretty much the summary of everything. She's working on getting a job. Hopefully we can live somewhere better if she gets one. Now in the comments, Ron frickin' Swanson says, "Do yourself both a favor and completely cut your parents out of your lives. They do not deserve your love, affection, or your financial support when they get older. To hell with both of them." Right? OP is a good sibling. Heck, just a normal sibling to care if his 18-year-old sister is homeless on the street in the winter and a pandemic, might get sick, freeze, be assaulted, hungry, etc. Her own parents don't care? It was the right thing to do. OP's sister being on the streets is a very different thing than he as a male. The chance of her ending up in the sex trade was really high. With a roof over her head in a safe place, finding a job and helping pay her own way, they can finally start rebuilding their relationship. One that doesn't include their appalling parents. Good luck to the both of them. You made the right choice. Your sister was a child being taught bad life lessons, so long as she can now see that what she thought was so funny is in fact a harsh reality, then some lenience from you shows a high amount of empathy and maturity on your part. You went through hell, quite frankly. No one should ever have to worry about clean water, food, and shelter. Those are the basic needs for survival. You did more for your sister in this action than your parents ever did. If no one else tells you, Know that I am proud of you." And OP replies, "Thanks. It means more than you know." "No problem. I'm a big sister, and you are a perfect example of what it means to be the better person. I can only hope others learn from your example, and with each one that does, our world gets a little bit better. I'm so glad this is what you did." But I don't get, after reading what you guys said, I told her no? From my skimming, the most popular answers were all, you wouldn't be the a-hole, but you should let her in. Glad OP eventually figured out that not being the a-hole isn't the standard for being a decent human being, just a lower bound for it. The fact that neither kid had anything lined up when they were kicked out tells me that even if kicked him out at 18 weren't reprehensible, the parents most certainly did not prepare them for the independence they enforced. They failed as parents long before anyone hit 18. The most shocking part is definitely not that they kicked their kids out, but that they didn't prepare them. I don't like the idea of parents kicking kids out at 18 either, but my stepdad told my younger brother that he would be on his own at 18 at 15, and helped him get a job, set up a bank account, and save money, etc. starting at 16. Didn't just toss him out on his ass, and he knows he'll always have a safe place to stay with me if he needs it. But damn, these parents really made one offhanded comment, then tossed their kid out. Posted by user Pretend Panda. Titled, "Am I the a-hole for not moving to help my brother and sister-in-law with neurodivergent nephew?" So I am the lone childless adult in my generation of a large family, and I live within easy driving distance of 5 siblings with spouses and kids. The youngest, 6, all boys, are doing remote school from my house. They are 4, 5 boy, 5R, 6, 7B, and 7E. They're bright and curious, and I've been having a great time. Here is the Am I the a-hole part. The parents of 5R asked me to move in with them. 5R is neurodivergent. I had no idea about any of this before Sunday night, and really struggled with preschool. They were referred to a major academic medical center and given a sucky prognosis. He's got an IEP and OT and all kinds of everything. But since world events, he hasn't had any prescribed therapies or enrichment. Since school started back up at my house, he is normalized. He's reading and writing and mathing and will not stay in the house while anyone practices a stringed instrument, which turns out to be a great time for feeding the chickens. They took him for a re-evaluation last week and were told that whatever they had done was important and needed to continue. 5R told the evaluator he wanted to come live with me because it is quiet. There are many books on the floor and there's a gecko. It is robotic, sort of. We, boys and I, have a deal about the gecko and its environment based on how school things go. I don't want to move. I'm disabled, physically, my house is adapted, and I value the independence I have. My brother and sister-in-law's house is not adapted, nor is it easily adaptable. Multi-story, lots of single-step up and down room thresholds. I get along well with this sister-in-law, but 3 of my other sister-in-laws, 2 stepmothers, and all 4 of my sisters do not. So the current MO of visitors wouldn't work. I told them that I didn't want to move for the reasons above, and that I thought we needed to give 5R a while, and we can revisit any time. They said that was a good working plan, and I believe my sister-in-law when she says that's good with her. She is super direct and very clear about her wants and expectations. So, who is not chill? My sister-in-law's family and friends, who are all over everything, yelling at and about me and my outrageous selfishness, depriving a fragile child of love and support. Also, bizarrely, my mum, who adores 5R and is just frantic that he have all the intervention and every other opportunity ever now, right now. I don't care about my sister-in-law's family, but my mum chiming in gives me pause. It's plausible to me that not having had young children or struggled with getting a neurodivergent child to a healthy adulthood, my perspective is inadequate, and I'm making a selfish and destructive choice. So, am I the a-hole for not making plans to move, which would require construction and turmoil and create lots of adult relationship tension, and instead seeing how things go? Well, that was a mouthful and a half. I think you've laid clear all the facts of the situation. The fact that both you and the parents agree on a suitable and dynamic plan together should be all you need. It's so stupid that friends and family keep coming into situations like this, needlessly expressing their concerns for families and children that aren't theirs. You have every right to react the way you have, because you can see it's a ridiculous thing to blow up about, but perhaps you're not seeing it the right way. I've got to say you're spot on the money here, and everyone else is crazy. It's not okay for them to be reacting the way they are to this situation and putting so many expectations on you, whilst not actually liking you. From what I read, you really only have a good relationship with the family you're helping, and not with any of these people attacking you. You would have to, get out of the property during their visits and avoid them, since it doesn't seem like in-person interaction is very much a thing. Upending your life like that is so needless, and would definitely be more trouble than it's worth. Not the a-hole, ignore them, OP. Now in the comments, Princess of Perky says, "Not the a-hole. I think you're being so generous having them do remote school at your house, but in no way are you remotely obligated to move in with them." And OP replies, "They are so much fun. It is ridiculously fun. I think it's because I'm not the parent and I'm not the teacher, so I get to just think about what is the most engaging way for this particular small human to absorb this information and then do it with them. And they get along very well and try to help each other. Plus their schedules and the school materials are so strange that I do not know how the actual employed parents are surviving." Not the a-hole. It's highly probable that if you did move, this child would no longer get the enrichment because the environment and expectations would change. The quietness at your home sounds like it differs from his home environment. How would moving his activities to a noisy environment change his response? The chickens? Would they come too? I'm guessing no. Also, what about his peers at your home? Are they going to begin academic activities at this place too? My point is, therapy helps a lot of children because it isolates them from distractions and focuses on them. Environment can cause effectiveness to vary. It is a ridiculous request and demand from grown adults who have access to therapies, etc., that you move for their convenience, especially when professionals did not specifically recommend that route. They said to keep up what has changed, and well, this child's normal is now visiting your home for school, so don't change that for the time being. Jack Burton says, "Not the a-hole. 5R likes your home and wants to live with you. It's quiet with lots of books. Him spending more time with you would make more sense." Edited because I found the sentence specifically asking OP to move in with them. I think they're missing the point, to be honest. They can try to imitate your home, but you moving wouldn't create the same space. Not the a-hole, even a little bit. Part of the charm of your house to 5R is that it's your house. If 5R is flourishing under your guidance, they should be doing what they can to recreate your space and vibe in their own house and continue doing what you are doing that has helped so far. Who knows? Maybe the change of moving would make things work not as well, or maybe it's in part having cousins around that have assisted in the current progress. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And now on to the update. This is not exactly exciting, but it has been meaningful for us. I called my mum and told her she was not welcome to visit or call while the boys are having school here, especially because she's making a lot of drama and prioritizing what will make her feel better about 5R over what he has asked for and what his parents, who really love their kids and do a damn good job, and their trusted professionals are advising. I set this limit because of feedback I got in the comments and a couple of DMs, and for the first time in recorded history, my mum apologized to my brother and sister-in-law. specifically for being disrespectful and thoughtless of their parenting choices, and shooting her mouth off in a way that made a difficult situation harder. My brother, sister-in-law, 5R, and I had a conference call with the team that did his evaluation to talk about what we should be focusing on and how best to work on his schoolwork. And they said to take cues from him and to not get into a pattern of him getting overstimulated, because then he will be less able to self-regulate in other ways, and it was like watching comprehension fireworks go off for my brother and sister-in-law. So that was very great. This call was made because of a specific comment, and it has been a big deal for 5R and his family. Huge. I do not think life-changing is an understatement. My sister-in-law has gone no contact with her family because she considers all the social media stuff they did to be really overstepping, petty, and mean, and doesn't want her kids to think that it's okay in the family to try to bully by humiliation. We had a big meeting with 5R, all the other cousins, and all the parents. The result is, 5R is now staying at my house Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights. He has his own room, and he refers to this as one bed for each butt cheek, which is almost certainly stolen from an older brother or cousin, and starting in 2021, every fourth weekend, all the cousins are sleeping over Friday and Saturday nights. It will be absolute havoc. So thanks again, people of AmiTheA. Your thoughtfulness has been really valuable to us. And in the comments, Total Hotel 9721 says, I'm so glad you're helping out these kids, and for once this isn't a cut off ties with the entitled family scenario. I'm having so much fun. We're so lucky we can do this in a way that works for everyone, and it is truly a great time. Also, thanks to you for giving the parents 2 nights off every 4th weekend. You very likely have contributed to their marriage staying together. Having a special needs child can be unbelievably overwhelming, and never getting a break because you cannot find safe care for the child can absolutely destroy even the strongest marriage. Every 4th weekend at your house will be crazy, and I'm insanely jealous, lol. My godchildren used to come for weekends before they got all adults. They still come and bring their significant others, which I love, but the pure joy of crazy fun kids is indescribable. There are 22 cousins between 4 to 16 years old, so it's going to be insane. They are all coming over next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, to make cookies and decorations for the bird trees, and also build a track in the trees for something I do not want to know about at all. This sounds like the sort of childhood experience you remember and talk about all your life. In other words, someone is definitely chopping onions around here. Brilliant, OP. Brilliant. My cousins/second cousins and I do cousin camp. Cousins and second cousins from all the way up in Seattle down to San Diego, and we all get together for a week in the summer. My mum and her cousins did it and stayed close all their lives, so we started doing it too. And OP replies, see, that's wonderful. I did not have cousins, but many siblings of all varieties, and my dad firmly believes that relationships are cemented by common experience, so we traveled in packs. Large, unruly, inquisitive packs. We are all still pretty close, even if on terrible terms in the moment. We come through for each other. I am hoping that will go on for the cousins. They certainly seem on track for it. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.